Richie Rich, let me, we were talking about Bill Belichick, and he's brought J.J. Watt into the conversation with Lawrence Taylor. It's kind of a short list there for that conversation. Has J.J. done enough to be in that conversation?
Well, I mean, what he does is he changes the game. There's no question about it. He is that's what you try to look for, right, Dan? The disruptive game changer from that position.
Yeah.
And early on this season, it wasn't translating to wins. But all you needed to do is just put a few more points on the board, and his disruptive presence is on par. I don't think anybody's really on par with Lawrence Taylor, but that's the thing I love about Bill Belichick. You know, he always gets grief about the yes/no question and how he shuts it down. He's the best shutdown press conference guy maybe we've ever seen, but he can wax rhapsodic and historic, certainly on weeks like this when he's taking on J.J. Watt. So for him to throw out Lawrence Taylor, who, you know, I would have to say that's the highest praise you can give him.
Yeah, I put Reggie White in there as well. The only thing about J.J. Watt, he's yet to do it on a bigger stage that the other guys did, and that's in playoffs, in a Super Bowl. I think that's what's missing from his resume. If we're going to put him in there, he's great during the regular season. But I think to be a lasting name, legacy, you have to do it in the postseason as well.
Well, I mean, he did his new, I guess his own legend was born in the playoffs with that pick six of Andy Dalton.
Yep.
But it would help if the Texans won once in Indianapolis, which they have yet to do, and that's something that's on the horizon right now. I know you have NBC has. This game Sunday night, that it is a huge stage for them to prove that they're ready to take that step into the playoffs. Huge moment for them. And then they've got to go to Indianapolis, and they will either see Andrew Luck or Matthew Hasselbeck. We did the Thursday night game with the Texans and T.J. Yates going in after the Texans had wrapped up the AFC South in the year that Peyton was hurt all year, and even in that game with Dan Orlovsky starting for the Colts, they couldn't win. They lost that game in the last second. So, you know, for J.J. Watt to have that stage this year, Dan, this Sunday's a big one, and then go ahead and beat the Colts when you can in Indianapolis for the first time, and then maybe we'll see J.J. Watt on the stage you're talking about.
We also talked about Johnny Manziel in these final 4 games and the importance of those 4 games. We also talked about perception is reality with getting out of rehab and could he actually go out socially? And I said no. The next month he's on lockdown to learn how to play the position, be professional. He can't be out. It's not about anything other than do you want to be the quarterback or do you want to be a celebrity? You can't have both right now because you haven't been able to handle it. Where do you stand with Manziel?
Yeah, I heard that conversation coming in to work today, Dan, and you're spot on. I was saying that he shouldn't even be sitting courtside for Cavs playoff games. He should just stay out of the spotlight until he starts winning games. And I know that might be harsh. I know that Maverick Carter and LeBron are in his corner, in his camp, and if he's offered courtside seats, then take them, I guess. But why can't he sit in a suite? Why can't he just stay out? Just stay away. Those are the trappings of winning quarterbacks, right? And I know that he's a Heisman Trophy winner and he's won before, but and then to go on your bye week, and do that. I mean, where are his buddies who are standing there seeing somebody pointing a camera at him? Where's somebody to take the phone and hit the delete button?
Well, where are his friends to say, let's not be out at this event?
That's true. Let's Netflix something. Let's check on House of Cards. Johnny, it's a great show. I know you guys are talking binge watching too. I mean, go ahead and realize that in the 21st century, the quarterback position in the National Football League is the CEO of a big-time business, and you cannot conduct yourself in the manner that we used to lionize Joe Namath or Ken Stabler. You can't do that anymore.
He's Rich Eisen from the NFL Network. Also, the Rich Eisen Show comes up after this one on Audience Channel 239 DirecTV. We came up with the Sports Person of the Year. Now, this is just on impact, and we thought FanDuel, DraftKings, and what Daily Fantasy has done. Do you have a candidate for Sports Person or Persons of the Year?
Well, I mean, if FanDuel, I mean, so if it's a sports person, would it be that guy in the zip-up gray sweatshirt in the FanDuel commercial? If you had to personify it, is that who it would be?
The
Dan?
CEOs of those two companies.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll go Brady. I'll go Tom Brady. Season began with him. Calendar year began with him on a playoff run in his late 30s, and then he won the Super Bowl. And I know Malcolm Butler made the play, but he was the one who did hit pay dirt twice in the fourth quarter. Found 5 different receivers in that game, which was a Super Bowl record for touchdowns. He did set it up, right? Or 4 different receivers, pardon me. He did set it up for Butler to make the play to wrap it up. And then all non-playing season, he was in the news every single week for what turns out to be maybe something very impactful towards the NFL with discipline and the commissioner's power for it. And now he has been at the forefront of a 10-2 team. He'll be in front of the whole country Sunday night against his former offensive coordinator, who in many ways people thought he got a gig in Penn State and in Houston because we saw him stand up to Tom on the sideline. I mean, talk about impactful, just in so many different ways. So I'll go with Tom, DP.
The Cowboys, Jerry Jones called out Jason Garrett, and I didn't think he was going to this season. I think Jerry woke up and said, we should have won a couple other games, right?
Like, I saw you said we should have coached it up a little better, or
yes.
figured it. Yeah,
yeah.
I saw that. I did see that.
Are you surprised that he called it? Because it sounded like Jason Garrett was on scholarship this year with Tony Romo getting hurt.
Yeah, but no, I'm not surprised by that. I mean, and that's why I'm not surprised when I hear DeMarco Murray may have, spoke to the owner, regardless of whether he went into his office or just turned to him in seat 2C.
How does that get out, though, Rich?
Great question.
How does it get out? Does DeMarco want it out?
I think that would be, if you have to CSI this thing with the DNA, Edward Dare from the Dallas Metroplex area perhaps had a relationship with DeMarco for all those years. Maybe he said, hey, I sat next to him on the plane or something. I don't know. Great question, because how does something like that get out?
But it's a negative comment about DeMarco Murray. Does he understand that it would come out as negative?
Maybe he didn't think through it. If this is his camp, I don't know. It could have been maybe like his agent passing it along and not thinking, or I don't know. I mean, obviously we don't know. But how does something get out of a plane? But I'm not surprised that he comes from the command control structure where the owner can actually do something about this, because he is the grocery shopper and everything else. But now he's in the command control structure of somebody who made the coach the grocery shopper and is hands-off to the point where everybody believes Chip Kelly, regardless how this season finishes, he's still going to be the coach there. But you can't blame him, Dan. I mean, look, I understand he took the money, but I mean the number of times that he's been taking steps laterally this season to either run the ball 15 yards to the right before he turns it up, or to run off the field because Deuce Staley's putting another running back on the field as the running backs coach rotation. He's got to be frustrated. 14 snaps against the Patriots. When the game's on the line, we would have been talking about this if Brady had tied the game up. Kenyon Barner is the one who's on the field. He fumbled it to give Brady another shot.
Yeah.
We would have been talking about that if Brady couldn't have tied the game, or if he didn't.
Are the Cardinals the second best team in the NFC?
Yes, absolutely. And I know that's infused with how well the Seahawks are playing.
Are they? Could they be the best team in the NFC?
They could. I mean, I'm excited to see them tonight. I'm excited to see them tonight against the Minnesota team that is, coming off a dreadful loss to Seattle. And if they lose this game, that would be 3 losses in 4 games, starting with that loss to the Packers at home a month ago. But they're still a playoff team. I think Minnesota is definitely better than anybody that's currently, like the Bucks or the Falcons right now. I think Minnesota is a better team built for the playoffs than those teams right now, although Jameis is balling out.
Yeah.
All that said, I love Arizona. I think they absolutely have a shot to go to the Super Bowl, to be the team that if it does match up in the NFC Championship game against Cam, to go across the country. They've got players and playmakers at every level. But that said, Cam is my MVP, and the Panthers are my choice to go to the Super Bowl from the NFC right now.
If Carolina wasn't undefeated, would Cam be your MVP?
No, but you can't discount that, right?
No. But let's say they had 1 loss. Is he your MVP?
You mean just one loss right now? I think he would be. Yeah,
okay.
I'd still go that direction right now. I heard again. As you know, I listen to your show coming into work every day. You pointed it out. How many times have you seen a quarterback in New Orleans, regardless of record, in that dome? You've been there. You hear how loud it is. It may be the toughest place to win as a road team. To fall behind once and then come back, okay. Second is a rarity. I've never heard of somebody who loses the lead 3 times and throws a touchdown in each of the following possessions. That is incredible. And he's playing neck up, waist down, the whole bit, entertaining, giving balls to kids. He's just awesome. I love everything about him right now.
Yeah, I do too. Hey, who's coming up on the show?
Ron Howard is coming here, so he's coming east to west. Yes, we got him in studio.
Nice.
He's coming here. Yes, he's continuing his tour for his movie.
Very difficult personality. He's he's a diva.
He's a wallflower, right? He's a wallflower. He's
big entourage.
He loves him some Opie, man. Right?
Yeah, he couldn't be a nicer man.
So he's here. Deshaun Watson and Charles Barkley. Today's show.
Nice. Great. That's coming up at noon Eastern. Hey, have fun.
Yes, say hi to the whole family, DP.
Hi, buddy. Thank you, Rich. That's Rich Eisen, NFL Network.